when they advertised it in Canada, they said 50% of saturated fat less.
Yeah.
And why? Because they had, I think, 2 grams on a spoon of saturated fat, and they went down to 1. Now, on a daily diet, that's absolutely
no difference.
Totally meaningless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the brain of the consumer, 50% less saturated fats. You think, oh my God, I can eat
more
10 jars of this because there's no saturated fat. So you see, it's just a joke in a way. Yeah. But our brain think, oh, 50% saturated fat. That's great. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the thinking. But the funny thing is that some of these companies here in Italy insisted on their investment, of course. Mm-hmm. And they said, oh, true, but we didn't do it for the health. We didn't do it for the
something else.
We did it for the environment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3 dekade saya di dunia sawit. Begitu banyak opini di sana-sini. Siapa yang salah? Siapa yang benar? Mari di sini kita buka dengan saling bicara. Saya ingin berbicara dengan mereka. Berbicara dan mendengar cerita yang benar. Bertanya sampai membuka fakta baru. Karena rasa ingin tahu selalu membuat seru. Saya Togar Sitanggang, welcome to Tagar Togar Podcast, Explore, Reveal, Sharing.
Hi, this is Togar Sitanggang, and again, we meet at Tagar Togar Podcast. This time is a bit special because the guest for this episode will be someone, my friend, from far away from here. We have a 6-hour time difference. Pietro Paganini from Italy. You are originally, you worked as a professor in John Cabot University in Rome, right? And you are originally from Italy. How are you, Pietro?
Hey, hi, Togar. Hi, Pak Togar. How are you? I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You know, I have some knowledge of Indonesian.
Okay.
Few words.
Pak.
Just to get to the bar and get a drink. When I'm in Bali.
So, I mean, in Europe, there, a lot of what we know from Indonesia that, Europe is the center of no palm oil labeling on the food. Can you just tell us a bit about it? How many products there's been labeled no palm oil, and what is the reason actually that you think behind that?
So it seems you want to talk about palm oil, huh?
Oh, yeah. Of course it's palm oil. Otherwise I'm not gonna.
No, you want to talk about anything else? Talking about palm oil. So if you want to talk about palm oil, you found the right person. I'm not sure. I was thinking a few days ago how many times I used the word palm oil. Probably 1,000 times, more than olive oil, for sure.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you touch upon a very important topic, because it's not the usual conversation around palm oil. It's not about the land. It's not about fertilizer. It's not about the water you need. It's not about the different chemicals you use in the process. It's nothing technical. It's nothing about the price as well. And people nowadays are mostly interested about the price. It's about the perception. It's about the reputation. And, if you have a good reputation or bad reputation, your products sell the most. And here in Europe, palm oil has been used in marketing for commercial purposes. So taking away palm oil from your product should add a value or a commercial value that tackle the fear of consumers, and therefore you think you will be able to attract them to buy your product instead of products that use palm oil. Why is this? Is because there's been a campaign against palm oil, what I call a fear or terror campaign, that has been saying to consumers palm oil is harmful for your health, is not secure, and then palm oil is harmful for the environment because of deforestation, loss of biodiversity. And there's a narrative has been written about this. This goes to explain this better to your audience. It goes into the marketing tactics, I would say, that some companies, food companies obviously, have used for the past 10 years, 15 years, where we went from, and probably happened in Asia as well, on the label, so on the package of products. So in marketing, you know, there is what we call the fifth P, that is the package, the fifth P package, where you have reach in. So we went from products that were supposed to be reaching something, and therefore the reach in is capturing the attention of consumers. Oh, there is that ingredient more, I'm going to buy it. And obviously there was a lot of good news or bad news about certain ingredients, and people were buying following this perception. A good ingredient in there, I'm going to buy it. Later, in the second part of, I would say, 2010, 15, this has shifted into free from, because our society moved more into a healthy, conscious approach. So instead of adding, we take it away. And we take away bad ingredients. In some cases, there is a purpose, like when there is an allergy. Gluten. Gluten is the most famous case. I take away gluten, free from gluten, you should buy it. When it's instead free from sugar, and then it was other free from, and there I can make a list, you know, free from salt, free from, you know, sweeteners, less soft, less of, there are no GMOs, and so on. So there's a gigantic list of and I use often in my conferences, is like 30 ingredients that are taken away. And one of them is, of course, palm oil. And the idea is, because palm oil is associated to saturated fat, so it's high in saturated fat. So if I want something with less fat, I take away palm oil, or I take away other things that are adding fat. So this has been exploding on packages. And don't forget, people go to the supermarket, they see two products in 20 centimeters and two different labels, and they have to make a choice. And when you see palm oil free, you say, oh, there's palm oil has been taken away. So if palm oil is not in there, it means palm oil is bad. And if I go to the supermarket and I see billboards and I hear on the speaker saying, we took away palm oil for your health, or because we want to save forest, you are actually pushed to buy these products. And with palm oil, this has been associated with two types of ideological campaigns in France by farmers that obviously were producing rapeseed oil, and therefore have been campaigning against palm oil. And in Italy, mostly in Europe, because there were companies that were trying to compete with the leader of the market, in the biscuit and chocolate spread cream, being Nutella. So if I want to compete with them, I have to do something different. And when it comes to Nutella, the three different things are the hazelnuts. So where you get the hazelnuts from, the sugar, lowering sugar, and the third one is saturated fats and sustainability, and therefore palm oil. So these campaigns have been growing, and just a few years ago we went up. Now I'm not doing the usual academic presentation, but we went up at 13% products without palm oil. So there means that 13, let's say, brands moved in the market and took away palm oil. And this sort of fashion and trend has spread all around Europe, because then, you know, you see that your competitors are doing this. Wouldn't you do it? You have to do it too. You know, it's a following strategy, what you say in marketing. So you see a big player doing it. And in Italy, we saw Barilla doing it against Ferrero, and Ferrero, producer of Nutella, and all the other small players when follow, because they say, oh, if they do it, we got to do it too. And that's become, you know, immense, because then you just don't do it at the supermarket. You do it in your commercials. You do it on TV. You do it on the news. You try to influence the consumer when he or she goes to the supermarket to be already informed that is bad, and we took it away for you. The funny thing, though, and then I give you some numbers, is that with the pandemic, and that should be a good news, probably the only good news in the pandemic, companies have realized that people were sort of switching again because of the pandemic. You want something that sort of, in your perception, save you, or it gives you some energy to fight the virus.
Yeah.
So the market slowly went back again from free from into rich with. And one of the famous and most famous rich is vitamins. Okay. Even myself, when I go to the supermarket, I look for something that says vitamin, like vitamin C. You know, vitamin C is good against the flu. Yeah. So give me some vitamin C. You know, I'm using a lot of lemon right now. I put lemon everywhere with this background idea that is vitamin C, and vitamin C is good against the virus. Yeah. Now, obviously, this is not defeating the virus, but in our perception, there's some kind of weapon that we can use against that. And we saw that the palm oil free has been decreasing, at least in my country, in Italy. In the past 2-3 years, this trend of no palm oil has been decreasing for some reason. First of all, people understood it was in vogue. There was no real fear about palm oil. It was just in our brain. Companies realized that they cannot keep doing this with palm oil. They have to change strategy all the time. They have to change enemy or friend all the time. So they slightly moved away from the palm oil free. And I think as well that they figure out that this is not paying off anymore. There was some kind of increase in sales. Of course, we said 13% companies and market, move in that direction. Now it is down at 1%. So it means that every year one brand out of 100 is entering the palm oil free market, is no more attractive. But still, in Europe, if we look at Europe worldwide, there are over, I don't remember a big number, like 3,000 or 5,000 brands that are taking away palm oil. Unfortunately, this is not just regarding companies that they say they have one product and they have to compete with other company that is using palm oil well, and they take away palm oil just to compete against them. We're also talking, unfortunately, about companies that are investing a lot in the quality and sustainability of palm oil. Yeah. But then because they have a lot of products out there and they are trying to capture a lot of segments of customers, they might do two products, one with palm oil and one without palm oil. Okay. And they advertise that. So to me, that is ethically a bit discouraging, because why would you invest so much in palm oil and on the other side, you try to fool people by saying, I took away palm oil, making them believe you do it because it was bad. The palm oil was bad for some reason, either health or sustainability. So let's say it's, Togar, you know this, we have been discussing this for many years. Yeah. It's a bad tactic because I think it's immoral, I would say, because you are not taking away an ingredient to really bring a benefit to the consumer. You're taking away an ingredient because you've been fooling and misleading the consumer by telling them that ingredient was bad when it was not bad, and it was simply a commercial purpose. I even understand, if you want, the farmers that are protesting in Europe and they say, rapeseed or sunflower are not so much competing with palm oil, so they create a campaign, a protectionist campaign. I disagree with that, but in a way, protectionism is a way to protect what you cannot do better than others. Yeah. Yes. But when it becomes a commercial, like Nutella is good, they are able to work, because the truth is this one. If you take a product like Nutella, the palm oil that has been used there, is sustainable, it's trackable, and is safe, it's secure, it's food, as the contaminants, the famous contaminants in palm oil, they're like almost down to zero. Yeah. And these other guys are not able to do the same because they don't have the same supply chain, they cannot get that same quality of product. And what do?
Oh, they haven't done that
against the others.
Or they haven't done the supply chain things that like Nutella did.
Yeah, properly. Yeah. And there are some small companies that, of course, they say, okay, in your product you have hazelnuts from all around the world. Yeah. Because you have when you produce so many million of tons chocolate spread, you need hazelnuts
Yes.
or ingredients from the rest of the world.
Yes.
So small companies are saying, my hazelnuts are from Italy, to say they are better. It's a sort of protectionist, populist approach. They are Italians, means better for Italians. And then they say, we took away a little sugar because sugar is bad for your health. And then they say, we're no longer using palm oil because palm oil is this exotic oil, that it's full of saturated fats, and it's obviously causing deforestation. And therefore, around these three variables, they play their commercial campaigns. If you ask me, is this going to last long? I would say, at least in countries like Italy, it's slowly going down. And I can tell you that even in 2001, the perception of consumers toward palm oil has changed, and it's getting better. It was very bad because of these campaigns, and now it's slowly and progressively getting better.
And you are part of it to make it better.
Yes, I'm. Whoever wants to support me, please send a check. No, we are. It's all of us. I have to say. I think I did a great job. But I think that everybody else in building the reputation of palm at the political level, at the news level, at the education level. It's a matter of education. Certainly, when you are playing with companies that are investing a lot of money, because maybe they made a choice. I think companies like Barilla, they made this choice for different reasons, not just evil reasons. The reasons of, I have to compete with them. I can't get the best palm oil. I'm not able to refine palm oil in the best way. So they changed. They invested a lot of money in changing the production process. And when you invest a lot of million in changing your production process, then you want to have a return out of that. And then you invest in communication just to make sure that your investment is paying off. But I don't think that they got all these companies that run away from palm oil. I don't think that they got so much returns.
At one time, you said that this company that taking away from palm oil from their product, and you did some kind of tests on the fat content, and it was a bit funny that actually the fat content is increased, isn't it? Tell us about it.
Oh, it's funny because that was at the very early stage when we realized that the companies were taking away palm oil, advertising that.
Yes.
And this was the main focus was here in Italy, where in 2016-17 the campaign against palm oil was really shocking because the companies were. I mentioned some names. They invested a lot in production process or in converting their production process, so they wanted money back, and therefore they made a lot of communication. And not just on TV, on radio, and on the news, on blogs. Many influencers talking against palm oil. In a way, they were triggering the fear of people, of the usual consumer. And one of the reasons they were bringing to the table was, we want a healthier society. So it was sort of coming along with the World Health Organization sort of guidelines. Got to reduce saturated fats. And they said, palm oil is full of saturated fats, and therefore we need to take it away and use oils or fats that bring less saturated fats. And this is funny because it's happening, if I think about Italy or France, countries where we produce butter, and as you know, butter is full of saturated fats. And farmers were even saying that the farmers' unions, palm oil away, we gotta use butter. And we say, wait a moment, there's more saturated fats in butter, and you cannot make so many biscuits or cakes for millions of people with the butter we produce here. We need billions of cows, and when you have billions of cows, a lot of methane and a lot of CO2. So, but anyway, we said, okay, let's see if it's true. If it's true that their products are so much healthier. And so we basically did something simple. We took products and compared the level of saturated fats with products containing palm oil and products that have taking palm oil away and proudly advertised that. So, palm oil free, palm oil away, and so on. And we realized that 95% of cases, there was no improvement. So basically you say, oh, I took away palm oil, great, but there's
you're putting something
level of
else.
saturated fats is the
Still
same
there.
or even more. And because, you know, of the way you mix, you melt your ingredients. And in only 5%, there was an improvement, and it was slight improvement. If you look at on a daily diet intake, it's nothing. So we sort of made fun of that in a provocative way. We say, okay, you took away palm oil, but nothing has changed for our health. And even if you say, you know, I just use this example because it shows you how marketing works and how our brain works. And there was a company, I'm not saying the name, is the one making a chocolate cream craft. I didn't say the name. And they have this sort of Nutella, or trying to be Nutella. And when they advertised it in Canada, they said 50% of saturated fat less. And why? Because they had, I think, 2 grams on a spoon of saturated fat, and they went down to 1. Now, on a daily diet, that's absolutely
no different.
Totally meaningless. But in the brain of the consumer, 50% less saturated fats. You think, oh my God, I can eat more 10 jars of this because there's no saturated fat. So you see, it's just a joke in a way, but our brain think, oh, 50% saturated fat, that's great, I'm gonna buy it. Okay, so that was the thinking. But the funny thing is that some of these companies here in Italy insisted on their investment, of course, and they said, oh, true, but we didn't do it for the health. We didn't do it for the
something else.
We did it for the environment.
Okay, changing.
So you took away, and you know, there was a famous case of that company that in 2016 or 17 was buying 100% of RSPO certified palm oil. And then they turned, and in 2018, they were buying 0 palm oil, and they were buying sunflower, but only 20% of the sunflower were certified. So I was like, okay, you were buying something certified, and now you move to something that is
less certified.
And you don't even know where it comes from, because the idea is, again, sunflower Italy. Because we have sunflower plantation, but it, you know, very small. And so where is it coming from? It's not coming from Italy. It's coming from probably from Ukraine. It's coming, you know, we could have built this. Oh, Chernobyl is down there, so you're buying sunflower from close to there. We didn't do that, but we said, look, if you're using sustainable palm oil or certified sustainable palm oil, it's the most sustainable than all the other oils. So why, instead of boycotting, you don't buy and you don't work along the supply chain to make sure that what gets into your tanks is 100% sustainable? And why don't you stop fooling people? So we came up with that to some companies, provoking them, and obviously they got nervous. They got very nervous at that time because there was no other reason why to say it. We didn't do it for that. So that was funny. But you know what, Togar, and this, let's say we suffered, and I understand, as a producing country, somehow is humiliating. You go into a supermarket and you see that the product that you put in the ingredient you put there, and that where there are families, thousands of families working around it, thousands of companies making incredible investments, and then somebody says we took it away. Because it's bad. That's humiliating. But you know what? In the long run, most of people understood it. And as I said, at least in Italy, perception is getting better. I saw some numbers a few days ago, actually, that during the pandemic, so even in 2021, all around Europe, this negative perception of palm oil is stopping all around Europe. And even online, the level of conversation has shifted. It shows that, in a way, most of the people are tired. Most of the people don't care. Still, yes, you have a core of anti-palm oil people because, you know, they are conservationist. They have this love for the apes and orangutans, and you know they do a good job in warning us that there is the risk. But the majority of population is getting away from that. They understood that, you know, with the virus, unfortunately, and I have to say, unfortunately, people understood well what we have in our food ingredients is, yes, it's relevant, of course, but it's not as much important as other matters like the flu.
Yeah.
So let's see how things will develop after
the all this pandemic.
I think there will be a shift also in people in people perception, and I think that the biggest effort by everybody in the industry, not just palm oil, all the industry, should be to educate people to understand that it's not that 1 gram that changes your life, but it's your daily life, your daily diet.
The daily diet, combination, you know, the balance.
We are having this problem here in Italy, in Europe now, with this front of pack labelings, where France and Germany wants to introduce this Nutri-Score with this traffic light system. And again, is a way to fool consumers, to tell, oh, it's green. Somebody establishes green based on what? It's not clear. It's green, buy it.
Yeah.
But
so
I think
if it's red, don't buy it. And who want to put
if it's red? It's basically don't buy. It's bad for you. The reality is that if it's green, the risk is people keep eating. Yeah. And then it becomes red. in your bed in the party. But the other thing,
if you're eating too much green, also you get red in your body.
Exactly. If you say, "Oh, that's green," I'm gonna buy a lot of it, and then it's a black. It's not even red. But when people should learn to, and I think we are moving in that direction. Maybe in 5 years, 10 years. It's also, you cannot must dictate what is good or bad. What is good for you, Togar, might not be so good for me, and vice versa. So 1 gram of saturated fats can be, you know, you are a slim bodybuilder sport person. I'm becoming a bit heavier. So 1 gram for you is nothing because you go out running, working out. 1 gram for me might be devastating. So we are moving into that personalized diets. There's a lot of studies on DNA. And I think that also with the help of apps, and algorithms that are used not to tell you what to do, but they suggest you what to tell you. Then I think each of us should be educated, particularly in countries like Europe, where we're very full about diets, about Mediterranean diet and so on. We should be able to read what you have on the front of pack and, you know, have an idea. Oh, I'm eating too much fat today. Tomorrow I should go for a run, or I should
to balance that
something different. So food education is not to know where palm oil is coming from or where ham is coming from, but it's more about what am I intaking and how should I balance that, and how much should I eat of that, and what kind of other education, other lifestyle I should take. You know, I use this metaphor of the time that is very provocative. Some people don't understand is the provocation. When I say
because you're telling it based on science, right? So it's not provocative.
This is based on science, actually. Because when you hear sugar-free, now there's a big discussion on the impact of sugar, but we need sugar. Okay, so it's a matter of quantities, not about no sugar. How much sugar we should intake? Where do we intake sugar from? And people should be aware of that. And it's more of education. So, but if you say sugar-free, palm oil-free, but then where is the bad attitude of people coming from? Eating, okay, because we eat too much. No, we eat the wrong food. We eat too much. And then it's our lifestyle. You know, if you look at most of kids today, they don't go out playing soccer or basketball,
playing
each other. They're sitting there, but also us. We're like all day like this. Okay? And then I have some friend of mine. Oh, my neck is in pain. Or people are getting fatter and fatter. Not because you are eating too much. Maybe you're eating too much, but you're not balancing that. So if you want to tax food, now, you know, here is, you've got to tax wine, you're going to tax some drinks because they're full of sugar, tax fat. One of the ideas is if a food has too much fat, you should tax. So if there's too palm oil, again, now it would be with palm oil, more tax. That would be the new trend. The funny thing is, then you should tax video games. Say, hey, you have a mobile phone, you're using it more than 2 hours per day, tax.
Tax.
Okay? Or you have a big couch, You spend too much time on the couch, we tax the couch. If you want to be coherent, then you want to tax food, then you should tax everything else that is pushing us into a bad habit.
Okay.
That should be the work. The other way around, of course, is to educate people to make the right choices, or at least to be aware and to have sufficient knowledge and critical thinking to make your own choice, good or wrong, but your own choice based on information. That's the word. When you tell people no palm oil, that's not a good information.
That's not education. It's misleading, like And
you're misleading you said, and dictating.
Yeah. You said Italy, the perception is going down. How about other countries?
Look,
France?
I saw some data. Happy probably in the next few weeks to have the full picture on 2021, and the data are showing that Italy was the country that has, for the past 4 years now, going down. So the bad reputation is going down, so that the good perception is going up slowly, as I said, but gradually. Other countries, France, Spain, Germany, the reputation of palm oil that was getting slowly worse has now stopped. And in the case of France, slightly going better. We need to see, though, Togar, whether this is just pandemic or
temporary, or is really the people really getting the education, well on palm oil. And I also know that you're also going to Spain or to other country to campaign on palm oil with your compatriot organization. Did you get any good result on that?
I have to say that the three hard countries right now are Spain, Germany, and France. Okay.
Well, France, we try to a bit forget about it because sometimes it's too extreme in a sense.
Well, they're French.
Yes.
With all due respect, they say they're our cousin. I'm like, I'm not your cousin. Here in Europe we love each other, but we have a lot of fun on particularly when it comes to football. We make fun of each other. Certainly, we probably get more along with Spanish because of the language. Of course. All our language comes from French, Italian, comes from the same roots. In Spain, is the same. In Spain, Spain has followed Italy a few years later. So before the pandemic started, Spain was at the very high. The difference, I have to say, I don't want to do any advertisement here, but the difference is that in Spain, in France, and in Germany, there is no, let's say, such a player that uses palm oil as in Italy. In Italy, we have that company I mentioned earlier that is the company, the product, and therefore that help a lot. Because when you say palm oil is good, it's used in there, and you're eating a lot of that, and you're just feeling happier when you finish.
Because it tastes nice.
Bad. So in other countries, of course, the product is there, but there's not such a
major
reputation,
major players.
Exactly, to support you. It's there, it's doing well. People love it, but it's not the national product. Here, it's been the national product.
It's not just national; it's worldwide, actually.
It's worldwide right now, but here it's from here. Also, politically, has been extremely helpful to have a company that has invested so much in palm oil, in the reputation of palm oil, and this has been very helpful. In the other countries like Spain, you don't have that. You don't have the tradition also for chocolate spread cream. Here, now you have Nutella, but you have many other brands. Some of them went, into this anti-palm oil campaign, but there is a big culture of chocolate cream. And not so strong in other countries like Spain, for instance. There they have other products. It is strong in France. But we see that the results are coming. But as you know, often is also a matter of investments and a matter of knowing very well the players, who to talk to. And but I see that France and Spain, to me, will be somehow improving after the pandemic. I'm a bit concerned about Germany. And what concerns me is not much and don't forget, Spain was following Italy mostly on the health consciousness of palm oil. It was not so much about the environment. Now the environment is here as well. In Milan and Rome, people are okay, palm oil, deforestation. But now people are also aware that there is a different version of palm oil, and that is the primary version of palm oil, that is the certified sustainable palm oil.
Yeah.
So people are aware of that this is not much influencing their choices, but they are aware. And the same in Spain, they are less aware of certified sustainable palm oil, but they care more about the health.
Okay.
They don't care about the environment as much. It's growing for the environment.
Okay.
In countries like France and particularly Germany, this environmental issue is growing.
It's
and
more.
I'm afraid. And I'm afraid that even in the Scandinavian countries, that with this ESG kind of trend, the use of palm oil will become an issue. That's why I think that we should invest more and more in communicating that there is a best choice, an alternative to palm oil, that is certified sustainable palm oil, and that is the alternative to all the other oils. Because when palm oil is certified, nobody else can be so good as palm oil.
Yeah, because I don't remember what year was that I met the company Ferrero, and they were saying that to replace palm oil we need to have 200,000 hectares of rapeseed to replace that additional, and the worst thing is the taste will not be there.
This is exactly there is a point now. I didn't go into the discussion in saying product with palm oil are better tasting or worse in taste than products with palm oil. Consumers have their own taste, but certainly some people said, well, when you don't use palm oil, the biscuit is breaking. So I buy the biscuits, I open the package, and they're all fragmented. But these are things I don't want to get into. I don't want to speculate. But certainly, what you said earlier is, if I replace palm oil, I have to use something else. And that something else is not coming for free. Not just in terms of price, in terms of environmental footprint. And look, I'm very much concerned right now, but really much concerned. So we talk about palm oil free and so on, but I'm very much concerned because what is happening right now in Europe in terms of inflation, it's worrying. And it's worrying because most of this inflation is driven to the post-pandemic, like in the US, high demand, blah, blah, blah. But a big portion of that, I cannot say in what percentage, is due to the increasing cost of energy. Mostly gas cost, and then brings us far away from Indonesia, Malaysia, or Central America or Central Africa to the Ukrainian situation, and Russia and the US. So I don't want to get into that.
I don't want to get into that also.
No, but to tell you, that situation is a geopolitical fight between countries to sell gas to Europe, Russia, and the United States. The United States are not there to save the planet. They are there to sell gas to us. And we need gas. We don't produce gas. But we don't produce other vegetable oils sufficiently to produce energy. And solar, wind are not sufficient yet. Nuclear are working, yes and no. Many countries stop. Think about Germany. And now we need something to burn to produce energy. And I'm worried because I said, you guys said no to palm oil in biodiesel. And now we have this gigantic problem.
On the energy.
And now we got to buy palm oil maybe.
For the energy.
For you. For the energy. And we got to buy it at a very high price. And I think that Indonesia did right in putting the price so high. You don't want it, your problem. So what makes me concerned, Togar, is that people that are making decisions often are following emotions that might have a reasons. I agree with some of their emotions, like we got to take care of the environment, we got to take care of forests, we got to protect biodiversity, we got to protect the apes and the orangutans. And it's good to have these warnings. But then when you make a choice, you need to balance the different options. And, you know, von Hayek was talking about the unintended consequences. And here I see that we're taking super, you know, environmentalist, pro-environment policies that might have horrible unintended consequences. That will bring us back into denying sustainability. So you think my good intention, my faithful intention is generating more sustainability, but the consequence is you're not. And if you're not, you're failing. So probably it's better to say, okay, we go slowly, more gradually, and we avoid some unintended consequences. And you know, I was betting yesterday with a friend that this 2030 phase out of palm oil, it's gonna crash at a certain point because we need energy. So some people are saying, oh, we closed down the nuclear station to produce energy because they were dangerous, costly. And now some people say we should go back again to that. But that means you need to rebuild them. It takes years and time and a lot of concern. So now that with palm oil, it's, you know, we did that mistake. I think it's better before it's too late that we go back. And honestly, if I was a European policymaker, I would be extremely concerned and probably frustrated for the type of decisions that are being taken right away. And they're emotional. They're not rational.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Pietro. I mean, yes.
Is it over?
It's not over if you want to continue.
I thought palm oil was just the warm-up.
No, I don't want to take so much of your time.
No. Well, because I cost that.
And again, thank you for the weekend time that you can spend, you know, to do that, you know, to do this taping, because it's very interesting topics that some of us here in Asia would like to know. Well, guys, thank you for watching. There's Pietro Paganini. There are certain things that it could be actually misleading on the labeling. You know, sometimes you just put the label just for the marketing stakes. You know, it's just like you want to increase your sales, and then you put the labeling as such that you want to get more buyers for your product. But in reality, you may not really getting what you are saying. You know, you're targeting. You know, so this no palm oil labeling is more into the marketing strategy instead of something real things that they should be inside of the palm oil. Thank you very much for watching. Togar Sitanggang, keep watching, subscribe this channel. This is maybe the first session, the first episode, which is really one-to-one in English. Yes, it is being done virtually, but don't forget to subscribe this channel, to like, comments on it, of course, and I'll see you the next episode. Bye-bye. Ciao.
3 dekade saya di dunia sawit. Begitu banyak opini di sana-sini. Siapa yang salah? Siapa yang benar? Mari di sini kita buka dengan saling bicara. Saya ingin berbicara dengan mereka, berbicara dan mendengar cerita yang benar, bertanya sampai membuka fakta baru, karena rasa ingin tahu selalu membuat seru. Saya Togar Sitanggang, welcome to Togar Podcast, Explore, Reveal, Sharing.